Quit looking at the camera.
You get front row seats. That's what happens when you get to church late. That's true. Every good church goer goes to the back of the church
Oh, you're fine. You're good.
All right, the time is 8:30. I will call the special meeting to order. It is August 29th, Tuesday, 2023, 8:30 a.m. All council meetings are present, or council members are present. We are here to accept Police Chief Boresh's resignation found on page 1. Chief has submitted his resignation, and he stated his last day of employment will be on September 22nd. He appreciates the opportunities for growth and development that have been provided to him during his 8-year tenure with the city, and for the opportunity to grow and build so many wonderful working relationships for the police department with the residents, community members, business owners, and employees of this city. He will take many positive memories with him to his new employment, and he wishes the city and police department the very best. And going forward, and I personally, Chief, I wish you the best.
Could you talk louder so we can hear you?
Certainly. I will repeat everything I just said. Police Chief, I'm sorry, I wasn't front and center. Police Chief has submitted his resignation. His last day of employment will be September 22nd, 2023. He appreciates the opportunities for growth and development that have been provided to him during his 8-year tenure with the city, and for the opportunity to grow and build so many wonderful working relationships for the police department with the residents, community members, business owners, and employees of the city. He will take many positive memories with him to his new employment, and he wishes the city and the police department the very best in going forward. And Chief, as do I. Thank you. So at this time from this council, we need a motion to accept the Chief's resignation letter.
I will make that motion.
I will second. Any further discussion? I simply want the audience to recognize, and I hope have done their homework on the discussions and the ongoing work to try and improve some of the wages and salaries of some of our employees. They remain ongoing as of last night at a work session. I personally wish this would have worked out very differently for the chief and the city. That is my statement.
So do I.
Any further discussion? Hearing none.
Why are you leaving?
That would be a discussion you could have with the chief, but we're not at liberty to discuss. And those aren't our rules. That's just how it works. All in favor?
What are the next steps?
Aye.
Yeah,
Any
what are the
opposed?
next steps?
Same sign. We will get to the next steps, and if we may, we have to follow our agenda, and part of our next steps are on the agenda. I'm going to ask for a recall on the motion as we were interrupted during the motion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Chief, thank you. Moving on, we have formal acceptance of our part-time police officer Holtz, as he will no longer be working with and filling in with the city. So we need to make that same motion and transaction for our officer as well. Cody wrote back on August 24th, he decided to leave the Motley Police Department at this time. The letter of resignation will be effective immediately. He has nothing but positive experiences with the Motley Police Department. He appreciates the opportunity that was presented to him during the hiring, and he's grateful for that and everything that has been done. He also wishes the city and the police department nothing but the best in moving forward. We have a motion to accept part-time police officer Holtz's resignation.
I will make that motion.
Motion made by Brenda, seconded by?
I'll second.
Seconded by Nikki. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Same sign. Hearing none, motion carries. At this time, I think it's in the best interest that we post not only for the chief's position, but to reiterate, we have already posted once and we'll be posting again for our part-time officer's position as well, which is full-time at this point. So do we have a motion to approve the posting of an open police chief position?
I will make that motion.
Steve will make that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Pat. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we will post for an open police chief position. Agenda item number 6 is to discuss hiring of an interim police chief, which is integral at this point because as of September 22nd, if we don't have an interim chief, we have to vacate the police department office and we have to utilize the services through the county and the state at that time.
Mike, I just have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Is the committee gonna be the same as the police officer committee?
I think that should be revoted. I think that's a totally different position. The chief of police position is totally different than the officer position, and as was stated by Mike, the police officer position cannot be filled until the police chief position is filled, which is 2 totally different positions.
Mm-hmm.
So per our policy, it'd be all department heads, it'd be Pat, and then we'd need one more council member.
Correct.
I would like to be on that committee.
Anyone else? Okay, we go with Pat and Brenda and the department heads for the committee for the chief.
You wanna make a motion just to make it official?
Need a motion to approve the committee of Brenda, Pat, and department heads, including Darcy, as we move forward. I'll make that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Pat. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Hearing none. Committee has been formed. Interim police chief.
Hello.
Yep.
I've spoken with Al Yoder at length several times, and he is interested in helping us out doing that.
Okay. I think you had similar discussions.
Yeah, I had a similar discussion. He did indicate he was interested in talking to us about it.
I think that is in the best interest of all, to have an interim so we can keep things operational.
Well, I agree that we do need an interim chief. I think there should be more discussion, and I've reached out to a few different people too, so I think we should, I don't think that decision should be made today.
Can we make the decision that we want to pursue an interim chief?
Yes, I do agree with that, Mike. I just think that there should be other options as well.
Sure. And there may be. Fair. So at this time, is anyone comfortable making a motion to pursue an interim police chief?
When will discussion be made as to who will be the interim? Next meeting, or are we talking a special meeting?
I don't think we can afford to wait till September 11th at a council meeting or another work session. I think the discussion happens here and then we begin a process of pursuing any and posting for that, and that's how we begin to solicit any and all that would be interested in being the interim. But transactionally and posting wise, we have to approve that here for any further pursuits or discussions to happen.
Well, I will make the motion for an interim chief, but like I said, I do believe we need to explore all of our options.
Mm-hmm.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion needed? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Hearing none, we will post and pursue an interim police chief.
What do you wanna post it at? Like wages wise, are we doing what the SEP structure says or something different for being an interim chief or?
Good question.
Full-time, part-time, I just need to know if we're posting it, what, we're putting in the posting.
By statute, we have to have a minimum of part-time, is my understanding. Full-time would be great, but I don't know how a person is full-time in two different entities. That seems like lightning in a bottle or a needle in a haystack. So I would say full-time to part-time, and I would say wages as posted on the salary structure. I don't think, I've been pretty vocal about what I think about what people need to get paid. So I don't think now's the time to short sheet that.
Can an interim, whoever we pick, can they negotiate that? Can they come up and,
It's fair. I think we have to be open to negotiations. I think we need them.
We didn't negotiate with our last officers we already had in place. I mean, really, because they're not here now.
It remains open and ongoing. I'm aware.
So is that an option? Today?
An option to negotiate with the chief? Not currently under the way we left it last night, no.
And can we elaborate on why?
We've got a process in place, and we continue to follow the process. Some of it, the allowances of what we can do with our agendas, what we can't, but I think the discussions have been ongoing since after January until now. And I think they've been open and they've been candid, and we as a council have made some, we have some ideas of what we can make a motion on at the next meeting, but nothing was in a timely manner to address the chief's requests and other department head requests. I've said all along there's a cost to turnover. Here we sit. And I encourage those of you sitting there to make sure you've got the who and the what when it comes to the story, because some of us are pretty outspoken and I'm not shy about it.
I have a question. If Jason so chooses to rescind his resignation, can he do that after the September 11th meeting?
He can do it at any time.
Okay.
Yes, he could rescind his resignation at any time, based on decisions the council would make.
Nikki, I'm puzzled by that question.
I think it's a fair question. We're going into September 11th with a pretty big vote. If anything changes and he chooses to rescind,
Why can't we do it today?
would that be an option?
Why can't we something figured out today? This morning?
We need, there's time allowances for city council meetings, and it wouldn't be on an agenda. It's not a part of this agenda, and it's on the agenda for the September 11th meeting that we have to have 5 days posted publicly in order to make those decisions for public notification.
Can I do another special meeting before then?
We most certainly could consider
Time
that as an
factor is critical, I
option.
would think, in this situation.
As long as open meeting law is met, you're fine. 24-hour notice, posting it, I think by the showing of who's here today, tells you the importance of this.
It's a 3-day notice for the open meeting law.
Okay, post it today and you're golden front. I think the presence today shares the community's frustration. I think lots of us have been following and we know the discussions that have been had.
Thank
I
you.
think it's very sad that you all are charged with the governance of this city. And I would argue one of our most important positions is in jeopardy yet again within the last 30 days.
Yeah.
That's on your shoulders. All of you were elected to keep this community safe and to execute governance with fidelity. I don't think that's happened here. You have an officer, a person who has been in this community for how long? And I don't appreciate the smirks that I'm seeing at the table. This officer has been in this community for how long? It's not easy to find someone. That has been readily clear for the last 30 days. And yet, this continues. We've got people that own stores that people shop at. It's known trafficking through here. How long is it going to be before someone says, you know what, it's not worth it? And that's unacceptable, and that's on your shoulders. Elections matter, and that will happen as time goes on. I know that you've all had discussions in the committee with other people, but I think the showing here today says a great deal, and I hope you are listening. Again, with fidelity, and that you understand the governance of this. And I hope we could do whatever it is that's possible to have Chief rescind his resignation and come back. I don't think that's possible personally, but I hope that you make that effort, and I hope the next one that comes in, you treat it in a different manner.
Jason, is that your intention
Is what my intention.
to rescind,
That is,
just as she spoke?
I have placed my resignation. I have not given consideration of rescinding it in any manner.
Okay.
So as of right now, after the 22nd is when Jason is done. So in interim, fire, or the chief of police then, we really don't have any. I mean, we won't have anybody until, I mean, Jason is here, but
We would not have anyone until we hired, and our service calls would be answered by Morrison County and State Patrol.
I see Jason Worley here. Do you want to speak on behalf of that, Jason?
Yeah, I
What type
can.
of coverage we're actually going to be getting?
Well, I think I kind of covered that at the last meeting. You guys are in a unique spot here. You're in the outreaches of 3 different counties. It's, you know, we don't have officers assigned to this area because you guys have your own police department. And you all know how tough it is to hire. So,
Maybe you should pay him better.
That has been the pursuit for
That
6
wage-
months.
is there
wage
budget? We don't, the
increase.
budget doesn't allow us to do that? or
Oh,
We
right.
don't have that?
The wage increase, if we could back up, was on our January 2023 agenda. And I think that's a question for Jason. Why was it removed?
As I stated last night, Jason, if I may, do you mind? I'll repeat what I stated last night. It was removed by the chief himself in January because we as a council determined that all of our department heads needed an observation and a look at what they were all making as for wages. So he removed his own request of a salary increase. So as a council, we could evaluate all of the positions. It wasn't just singular to the chief, so it wasn't a one-trick pony request. And from January until now, here we sit, because we have not made decisions as a council. Requests have been made about data, dollars, wages, benefits. Darcy has provided them all. We have had 6 organized city council meetings since then, and 4 special sessions since. The council has not made a decision. So that is why Jason removed his in January,
It's a
because he
fact,
felt
though,
the
that it
part
was on
that
the
he was a
agenda,
team.
and it's likely, had that been left on the agenda, we could have voted then and avoided this. and
Not according to
second
the
officer
requests that
review.
were made for all of the information from then until
It
now.
was on the
No.
agenda, it's a fact.
May I speak, Mayor?
Yes, please.
So in response to Councilmember Birga's comments, yes, I did remove the police department wages from my agenda for the police department. as you stated, so that discussion could continue for the benefit of all of the city employees versus just the police department singled out. My question to Councilmember Birga is that if she is so upset and continually bringing this issue up, that it was taken off of my agenda, why she did not feel that it was in that great of a dire need to add it to her own agenda or to the council agenda at that time or at any other meeting after that point.
You took it off. That was your decision, Jason. Mike added it back on as a citywide employee agenda item. So I didn't feel that it wasn't necessary. But I respected that you took it off.
That was then, today is today.
Do you
Why
respect
can't-
all the people in this audience?
Absolutely. No,
Let's
the
negotiate
majority of them
today.
my whole life.
Yeah.
Is this gonna be a public forum and a public?
I
agenda?
think, I'm gonna be outspoken, I think the council's earned this room of people right now. And I'm not afraid of voices and hearing what people have to say. I'm not.
Thank you.
I think we've earned this. I said there's a cost to turnover, and sometimes that gets really wiggly and uncomfortable, and sometimes you just gotta earn what you've earned.
So our wage discussion is now on the agenda for September 11th.
We also
That's what we're-
also can call a special meeting to address it 3 days from now and make decisions.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Darcy, what would that date be?
The soonest would be able to be Monday, because today doesn't count, so it'd be Wednesday,
Monday,
Thursday.
That's Labor Day.
On Monday.
Monday's
Or,
Labor
so
Day.
Tuesday would be the
Tuesday?
soonest.
Tuesday morning.
Unless it's a closed session.
So what's actually the holdup on it? It's just that you guys don't want to give them more money and the council split, or what's?
I think it's safe to say the council's split. But I think last night we had some really solid discussions, and we have several ideas or several thoughts on that, and motions need to be brought to the table. And we may not be, it may not be a uniform vote, it might not be all 5 in favor, but at some point, here we sit. And there is a cost to turnover, and we have certainly spent our time and resources in other ways that I think we could have given back to our city.
Exactly, 100%.
So,
Yeah, wage study that's done there, they've been doing that in this town for the last 40 years, and it actually, it does shit. It does, it's completely ridiculous why they spend money to outsource and do this stuff, when business people in town here, it'd be like, Tony, you know, as well as I know in the trucking business, he's an electrical business, you gotta be compatible with your neighbors. Little Fall, Brainerd, Staples, whatever, you know, if they're offering $35 an hour, you better match it, you ain't gonna have nobody, right, Tony?
Well, that's what's happening right now, that's why we have no police force.
Well-
In 3 months.
and I also think there's parts of the wage study that had merit to it, and I think the other part it doesn't show is that the world has changed. There are jobs that our youth and our young people have created and made that aren't traditional in design, that don't fit into a wage study. So part of the shortage across the board, not just the city, is because there is employment that didn't exist a year ago, 2 years ago, and those wage studies demonstrate some pretty traditional categories in the workforce.
Well, maybe
So-
you want to step in while he's gone. I didn't think so.
No, ironically, that's a really far-fetched opportunity. I am a former police officer. I actually could renew my post license if I wanted to.
Could the council be creative in its wage offering? So perhaps a housing stipend or some other stipend for a younger person that's starting out that might incentivize them to consider a smaller town?
I think the word courageous and competitive and creative, those words have been used about attracting, retaining. There's a concern that everything we do does come at a cost to the taxpayer. But I go back to the fact that we've done some things in the last 6 months that have also come back to the taxpayer. So at some point, it's time to invest. This is me speaking. I speak for me, not the whole council.
What's the rest of the council think? What are they saying? Let them have a chance to speak to know how they feel.
It's up to each individual if they want to do that.
Well, we want to know what the holdup is, I mean,
Let's
it
hear
should
from
be
them.
explained to us. This has been held up for Every time I come here, we're tabling things, we never make decisions, so.
Personally, I feel that even if we were to have a special council meeting next Tuesday to decide any wage increase for the police department, there still would be council members that would not vote for it. I strongly believe that. Unfortunately.
Can we hear why? Can we hear from those members?
We had discussion last night again, good discussion. Nothing is in concrete, but I think we're
But don't
closer
you think
to
it's,
voting.
don't you think it's too late now?
It
We've
can't-
already lost Cody and now Jason's resigned.
Well, and can you elaborate? Like anyone that's watched the videos knows you guys here on this end of the table are holding it up. So share with us. That's why we're here. We want to understand, why are you not approving this? What is your guys' holdup? I know you guys do it in special sessions, small groups, and you feel comfortable, but here, we're here to listen to you and hear. Tell us why you guys are holding up.
I will just say, you know, it's Jason's decision. He's always wanted more money, no matter what. We did a step increase last night for everybody involved. We're a small town. Jason, it's public knowledge, he makes over $100,000 now.
He does not, that's gross.
With
That
benefits,
doesn't.
he makes over $100,000.
That's his- to
That's
be-
in black and white.
Why is
To
that
be
a
clear,
problem?
to be clear, that's
So
his
you
total
want- I'm-
compensation.
I've got the
But
out there.
Steve, I really want you to emphasize, that's his
Yeah.
total
Total
compensation,
does
not
benefits
take
and
home
wages,
pay.
not his
Yeah, I
wages.
said benefits.
Yeah.
No, you just said.
No,
benefits.
you did not.
You
You did
I
not.
want to be clear with that,
No.
because I don't want you to be misquoted and the audience to be misunderstood.
With benefits, like I said before, it's over 100,000, and for a small town, that I think is good. We cannot compete with big cities.
But we
It's
have
just
to.
impossible. We have to look out for the general taxpayers.
I have no
I think
problem
the
paying more
taxpayers
taxes.
want to be
Well, fine, most
protected.
people don't.
Well,
And that's it. It's Jason's
Do we have
decision. He
the
wants
money?
more money, and he's
Do we have the money
supposedly
to
got
pay
it
them?
someplace else, so.
Do we have
Let's
that on
give
the
him a
budget
measure.
to pay more?
Do we have the money?
Currently in the general fund, yes, we have the dollars, and in a cost of living allowance that we would automatically, that we pursue every year with our levy, yes, we would, and we do.
I don't think it's fair for individuals on the council to have an issue with how much an individual makes.
That's why we're here.
There's a
It's
cost,
all money, money, money. That's why we're here. So why make a statement like that?
because you just
'Cause you keep
implied that he made too much.
I did not.
You
I
did-
said that's fair.
You implied that he was asking for too much money, or that it was too much money for a Motley officer to make, that we couldn't compete in
I
other
didn't
towns.
say that. I said that's a.
Yes,
that's
I'm
a
pretty
good-
sure that's,
a good wage.
if there was a read back of the minutes, I'm pretty sure that was exactly what was said.
Well, whatever.
Or at least it was implied, and I think if I raise the hands of the people in this room, they would say the same thing. I don't think there's a price that we can pay on our city's safety. I mean, if there's a physician in town, would we let him go at 100, or her go at 100,000? There's a cost. And at what point are we gonna say we're tired of the turnover and the cost of the turnover? I think the mayor said time and time again, there's a cost to this. And at some point in time, I would ask the city council to stop and reevaluate and say, what are we doing? We've lost 8 years, or however many years Jason's been here,
We did reevaluate last night.
and is
Have you
100.
watched, have you watched that? Have you watched?
I have
any
not
of it?
watched last night, I'm
Okay.
sorry,
Please do. I would encourage you to.
and I will. When was it
when is it
posted?
posted?
It's
It
not
has,
posted
but I
yet.
haven't had time to.
Okay, so I couldn't watch it last night, so,
Please encourage you to do it.
yeah, I'm happy to do that when it is posted.
So at this time, we have a tentative meeting planned for September 5th, 8:30 in the morning, to revisit a special session and make decisions about,
I can't be here.
can I make, how about Wednesday?
Wednesday works.
Wednesday works for me. September 6th, 8:30? Is 8:30 work, or is 8 easier?
I don't get here till 8, so if I have time to at least get the room ready.
Brenda, what time works for you?
5:30 PM.
That works.
We have a
6 PM.
committee meeting at 5 that night.
So
How about
we-
Tuesday at
Tuesday? at-
6 PM?
Are you out totally on Tuesday?
I'm good at 6 PM.
6 PM on Tuesday?
Set the meeting?
It's just
or-
I'll be at the doctor's.
No, I'm not letting the public set
Okay,
the
well,
meeting.
Amy just asked 6 PM when, Tuesday? What was your
She's wondering if we
suggestion?
can move it up.
Brenda asked for 6 PM, so.
Okay, I thought you were,
I guess my point is I can't continue to take time off of
I'm
work.
gonna- If I may, if I may, to the audience, how else can I put this? We've already broken a few rules of how this stuff's supposed to go. Me, I'm gonna sleep just fine tonight. You needed to be heard and you're here, and I don't sweat this. We now, thank you, we get that we can move it. I think Brenda's point is mornings are tough. I can be really open and flexible right now due to my own personal scenario. We'll get there, but I think if you guys kind of just, if you give us a minute, we'll get there. Does that make sense? All right, thank you. What time, would Tuesday 6 work?
Tuesday, 6 PM should work.
Tuesday at 6? All right.
You guys got a bigger room? Because it's gonna be, we're gonna need more room.
6 PM?
there is the
If-
fireman's room probably.
We can't use that room on Tuesday because the fire department has their meeting.
That's right.
Tuesday, what day is that?
6 PM there.
We can't have it anywhere other than here.
September 5th at 6 PM. And I would request that the council come ready that night to make decisions on wages.
So is it gonna be, it's gonna be on wages, is what the special meeting is? I just need to
Yep.
know what to put on the notice.
Wages.
Wage discussion, okay.
Yep.
And Mike, is this, just to clarify, is this for wages immediately or wages as of the first of the year?
I've been adamant about immediately.
Wages for police department or all?
All
employees?
departments. We got all that information last night. We got it weeks ago from Darcy. We should have time to process it, delineate it, go through it, come here to make decisions on all departments September 5th at 6 PM for immediate increases. Or that would nullify the opportunity for chief to perhaps consider rescinding his resignation if it's not immediate.
And if you don't, either way, you're gonna need the money increased to try to find even, have somebody to look at it. I mean, it's not even in the ballpark.
Correct, and in fairness, that was discussed last night, that the increases are now. They're not first of the year. They are now.
Does everybody get the same percent, or
I think you did.
does
I'm sorry?
everybody get the same percent, or?
There's a salary structure there, but yes, the wages would either be by percentage or by individual category, but all will benefit from the wage increases citywide.
And what percent is that?
That's what we will discuss and determine on the 5th. For the purpose of our agenda in this special meeting, any more discussion?
Well, Steve, explain what his holdup was, what's Nikki's holdup on this wage deal?
I'll let you know September 5th at 6 PM, Rudy. 5 PM. What time are we doing, 6 or 5?
6.
6 PM. Hearing no more discussion, we have a motion to adjourn. I have a motion, I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, same sign? Thank you for attending this morning's meeting. It is appreciated, you are valued, and your voice is needed to be heard. You are welcome. Thank you. Everyone have a great day.
Mike, did you second it?
I did.
Thank you.
Yes.